Hello, my name is Malimi Kazi, and in this video, I'm going to talk about Gagne's 9 events of instruction. And Gagne, Robert Gagne, was an American educational psychologist. He was born in 1916 and he died in 2002. Apart from him introducing the 9 events of instruction, he is also known for categorizing learning into 5 categories. The first category is verbal information. So these are learning outcomes. So the first category is verbal information. So learning outcome can be exhibited as verbal information, but the second category is intellectual skills. And third category is cognitive strategies. Category 4 is attitude. This is regarding the way people behave. And category number 5 is motor skills. This is all about movement of our body to do any different actions. So, but our discussion, my presentation today will focus on the 9 events of instruction instruction as proposed by Robert Gagne. So the first event is to gain learners' attention. At this stage or at this event, teachers need to gain attention as the first step, which can help learners to pay attention. And to gain attention, teachers can use media elements, maybe images or videos that are thought-provoking, but also gaining attention can be in a form of maybe providing facts about something or interesting contribution about somebody, as I did with the brief introduction of Robert Gagne and what he did. So it is also good to consider culturally relevant examples, which can include inclusive visual engagement to help learners pay attention to what is about to be presented. The second event is to inform learners about the learning objectives. For my case, the learning objective for this presentation is about learning the 9 events of instruction as proposed by Robert Gagne. So by the end of this lesson, you should be able to describe these events, and also you should be able to implement the events in your teaching. So it is good to clearly state the learning objectives for learners to know what they are going to learn. And these objectives should be specific and should be also be measurable. And the learning objectives should be aligned to the desired learning outcomes. Event number 3 is about stimulating recall of prior knowledge. So we are talking about what learners already know about the subject or the topic they are talking about. So you try to connect what they already know, with any new content that will be presented. So this will stimulate them to recall what they know and try to connect it with the new knowledge they are going to learn. So you can use, educators or teachers can use reflective questions and also encourage sharing experience in their prior learning. Event number 4 is presenting content. This is presentation of new material or content which learners now are supposed to learn. And the material should be presented in a very meaningful and logical way which can help learners to understand. Materials also, content should be broken down in small chunks to help learners assimilate what is being presented. And presentation also of the content should include a use of different formats of representing the content. For example, use text, images, or use audio and video if possible. Event number 5 is about providing learning guidance. Here, teachers need to provide guidance on how learners should approach learning. So use example, analog, and also visual aid to scaffold the use of complex ideas. Also, it is good to be inclusive to make the learning relevant for learners. Event number 6 is about eliciting performance or practice. Eliciting performance allows learners to practice new skills and reinforce understanding. It is good to use stimulation and interactive tasks that can help learners reflect real-world activities or events where they can connect the learning. Event 7 is about providing feedback. Providing feedback is essential for learning. It offers immediately specific, formative feedback, which will help learners improve learning, or it can help them to gain a deep knowledge of the topic. So when providing feedback, it is good to ensure that feedback is provided in a very respectful way, and it should be culturally sensitive as well. Event number 8 is assessing performance. Assessing performance should align with learning objectives, which now help learners to see what they were informed that they should learn, and when the assessment come, now the learners are assessed from what they have learned. It is good to ensure that assessment is inclusive. I mean, it need to be to use different context, which allows learners to connect or relate to the assessment. The final event, event number 9, is about enhancing retention and the transfer. Enhancing retention and transfer involves repetition and also opportunity for applying the content learned in a real world situation. For example, if it is about teaching strategies, providing opportunities for learners or participants to actually teach will help them to transfer what was learned in classroom to the real classroom teaching. This also can include providing guidance on how learners can apply what they have learned in their workplace. Also, it can include providing tools like quick reference and guidelines. In conclusion, Gagne's model of these 9 events of instruction offers a comprehensive framework for effective instruction, and each event supports a cognitive learning process which promotes engagement of students. Applying this model can enhance instructional design and learner outcomes. Thank you so much for your attention in this presentation. I see you in another video.